Peter, we get this decision, 470, 480 pages long. You look through it. And you find some language here about what could happen to exclusive economic zones.
Right,
Before we get into those, what are they? What is an exclusive economic zone?
That's where you have, it's 200 nautical miles from your shore in every direction, and it gives you exclusive rights to fish, to drill for oil, to do subsea mineral exploration, and it's very valuable, and it's huge. The United States has a bigger exclusive economic zone in terms of square miles of ocean than it does of dry land in the 50 states. So if that comes into question, it's kind of a big deal, and I think it's been mostly missed by the press.
And it comes into question why? Again, in this long report, in this long decision,
Right.
we're looking at the Spratly Islands in the South
Right.
China Sea. What did the tribunal have to say about them and their habitability, I guess?
The tribunal interpreted what's called the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which has some language in it which has kind of never been closely analyzed, which says that in order to claim one of those very valuable 200-mile nautical mile exclusion zones, the piece of land has to be habitable, has to be able to support human habitation, economic activity. And yet, some of the islands, or rocks you might call them, that have been claiming this, really I wouldn't call them habitable. And importantly, the tribunal said, simply having soldiers or sailors garrisoned on a rock does not define habitability, because they're being supported entirely by provisions brought in from outside. It has to be able to have fresh water, maybe cultivable soil. And so what happens? The United States, Japan, to name two, but also many other countries, could find that some of their islands and rocks are subject to challenge, say by fishermen from other nations that want to fish there.
China has said it's not going to pay attention to this ruling from this international court. How binding is this when you look at this language, when you see what it says, when you consider it in the context of all this territory around the world? Does it have anything in the way of teeth?
Well, first of all, it's not legally binding in that the tribunal was adjudicating only this one dispute, arbitrating is the right word, between China and the Philippines. But because it was five of the most eminent experts on the law of the sea, and because they went to great lengths to really be exhaustive in their analysis, it probably will have a big influence on other tribunals and arbitration panels.
Just lastly, here with about 30 seconds left, what industries might this affect? I think of fisheries.
Fisheries and oil drilling and subsea mining are the obvious ones, because suddenly all these claims that seemed pretty secure are up for grabs. I think fisheries is a particularly important one, because the United States has done a good job of protecting fisheries from overfishing.
Sure.
But if they become subject to free-for-all, then that could go away and fishes could be depleted more quickly.